Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Tina. In this video, I'm going to cover virtual DOM diffing in React. So first slides here, we're trying to demonstrating the existence of React's virtual DOM diffing. Okay, so now let's directly go to the code. We are going to have a component. The component is to be a clock. Okay, new file called the clock. Clock.tsx. What I'm going to do in this component, we are going to have a timer, which is every 1 second it's going to be changed. Okay, so here we will have a const, have a time, set a time. And use date here, the default is a new date. Okay, the default value is a new date, current time. And here in a div, I'm going to have a what's thing? Have a h1. How about what I used there? H1 input. Okay, h1. Clock. I just say clock. Okay. Then here I'm going to have an input, and here I will also have a display paragraph. Current time is what? Is the time dot to local time string. Okay, so every 1 second I want this one to be changeable. Every 1 second this is gonna be add 1 like that way. Okay. So then how can I make sure this one is every 1 second gonna be changed? Then we will use effect, right? Use effect. If you don't understand, you should take a look at my previous video, which cover about use effect. Okay, and I will have a timer set interval when the initial rendering. Okay, not for every time. So use effect initial rendering only do once. And here what I'm going to do is have a set interval. Set interval expect to be a function here, and every 1 second. In this function, I'm going to set a time. Time to be what? To be new date. Okay, and then because set interval we have to clear. If we don't clear, it's going to cause the memory leaking. Okay, so here I will have a timer ID. Okay, timer ID equals. Then I'm going to return a callback function going to be executed a clear interval. And you can actually, if you use clear timeout, it also works. Okay, like this way. So now for this clock, I'm going to put inside the app clock, clock clock imported. Okay, and this is our code so far, which means here just have a title clock, and here have input, here have current time is this part. Okay, and this thing is changed in our set interval. Every 1 second I'm going to have a new date, then you're gonna have a new time. So now let's go to our browser to see. Why is my browser here? Okay, as you can see here, the current time is always being changed. So how can I demonstrate the virtual DOM diffing is here? Take a look at. This is a static hard-coded, and here I have input. Suppose I type some value here, which is miss xing. And after 1 second, if this input is not being reused, then I should not see what? I should not see the value I typed in previous 1 second. But as a result, you can see here, when I type, and every 1 second, as we know, the state is being changed, right? Based on our code. Every 1 second, this set time will cause what? Will cause the clock is being re-rendered. And when the clock is being re-rendered, it will return this one into a DOM, right? So if this H1 is not being reused. Oh, we cannot see detail. We don't know it actually. But for this input, by default, do I have any value here in the code? No, I don't have value here. But as we see the result, okay, every 1 second, in previous second, I type a miss xing here. And after it's being re-rendering, this miss ing is still here. It's not this one. And that proves our virtual DOM Diffing is here. It detects, oh, this one is same as the previous one. So why should I generate a new DOM? This new DOM is real DOM, okay? That's why here, this one, after 1 second, this miss xing is still here. Missing is still here, okay? And, you will see, it's here. And we can do more proof. Here, I have input in the same paragraph. Here, I also have input. Take a look at here. Suppose I refresh, okay? This one, I type missing. And for here, I type Tina, which is in the same paragraph of this time. As you can see, after 1 second, this Tina is still here, this miss ing here, which is the same as previous 1 second, the DOM. Because if it's new DOM, this input, I don't have default value, okay? Right? The value is empty, should be an empty string, but we can see here, after 1 second, we still see this miss xing Tina. That means our real DOM is being reused. So how does it work? Okay, so this demo just prove our real DOM, the virtual DOM Diffing exists inside React. So how does that working? Virtual DOM Diffing. The virtual DOM is a lightweight representation of actual DOM. Okay. The actual DOM is what? The actual DOM is like a document.getElementById, which is browser generated. And this virtual DOM is React generated. Virtual DOM is what? JavaScript object. Actual DOM is what? JavaScript object. Okay? But a virtual DOM will have less properties. And if you use document.getElementById to get a real DOM, for only one single paragraph, you will see tons of properties, especially for those events like on click, on mouse over, you have lots of properties, but most of the values is none. Okay, that's why virtual DOM is lightweight. It just have necessary information represent the element. Okay, instead of manipulating the real DOM directly, React creates a virtual DOM. It can be more efficient because we can reuse. We can do a diffing, then reuse the actual DOM. I will draw a diagram minute, okay? This allows React to perform updates with minimal performance overhead. How diffing works inside React. On the initial rendering, when the React component is being rendered for the first time, React creates a virtual DOM representing of the component and its children. So let's do it, okay? So here, well, I'm going to call, this is our code. I'm not going to draw from app, okay? I only draw based on the clock, okay? So on the initial rendering of the clock, it's going to have a virtual DOM. It's also going to have a real DOM, based on our slides, see here. It's going to create a virtual DOM represented component of its children. So let's take a look at our, I just copy, okay? Copy this part. Then I put in my ID. Okay, let me make this one a little bit larger. It's a little bit freezing, kind of like here. But let me see if I can. I cannot. Okay, so text. Okay, this one I can do. Let me make it a little bit larger so you can see more clear what I'm. Let's see. Okay. This should be large enough, okay? What happened? On initial rendering, when I render the clock, it's going to render this part on the page, right? So it's going to create a virtual DOM. Virtual DOM. The virtual DOM going to start with root. That's also very important. It only have a single root, so we know which component. Okay, so it started with a div. This is virtual DOM div. In the div, I'm going to have h1. H1 will have what's thing, the text, which is this one, text clock. I'll add a clock here, okay, because all the text also represent as a node, okay. Then here we'll also have what? Here we also have input, okay. And then for the paragraph, will have what? Paragraph first will have a text node. It's very long, okay? You write about yourself. And also we have input. Yeah, I draw too much. Let me squeeze a little bit, because here I want to draw a real DOM. Okay, I'll draw pretty fast. Okay, this one I made it too large. Sorry. I should think about it wisely. Okay, let me do it. Okay, another one here. This one is an input, and here I'm going to have a paragraph. Paragraph have two. One is a text node. One is the input. And every virtual DOM eventually going to be a real DOM. Okay. Because browser only understands real DOM, it doesn't understand virtual DOM, right? And we display our content inside the browser. That's why eventually you're going to have the real DOM. For the real DOM, going to be the same as the tree gonna be similar to the virtual DOM, but it's gonna have more properties. Like here, don't have onClick if we don't attach onClick, but here we'll have onClick on mouse over all the things. But here I just make it short, okay. Just to have look like exactly same as the virtual DOM for now, but you should see that different, okay. I will make it to be look like here a little bit more. Here, which one is h1? This is real DOM on the right side, and here we have a text, and also we have input. And also we'll have a paragraph, and also we'll have our text, and also have input, okay, like this way. So this is the initial rendering, okay. Now subsequent updates. When state or props of a component changes, React generates a new virtual DOM. So based on our code, every 1 second, I'm going to do what? I'm going to set a time. When it's a time, it will cause a new data, right? This new data is different from original previous one. So it will cause the entire function component to be re-rendered, okay? Which is this one. Generate a new virtual DOM because the state is changed for our example. So now, the React going to compare the new virtual DOM with the previous version, use a process called diffing. This involves node comparison. React will compare the root node of the two trees. If they are different, React will replace the entire subtree. If they are same, React continues to compare their children. Because if your root is different, previous is div, now you become a paragraph, okay? Then doesn't make sense to continue compare the next the child, right? So it's going to replace everything. But if the root is the same, then you will continue compare their children, okay? It will do element type checking. If an element type has changed from div to span, React will unmount the old component, mount the new one. For the list, React use the key attribute to identify which item has changed, then add or remove. This allows React to reorder elements efficiently without unnecessary render. We'll talk about this one later, okay? After determining the changes, React batches updates and apply them to the real DOM in a more efficient way possible. This minimizes the number of actual DOM manipulation, which are expensive in terms of performance. So here we don't do a batch, okay, because we only have one. So I'm going to do like this way. to just explain the scenario. So after 1 second, we call set time, which is a new date, right? It will cause re-rendering of the page. And after re-render page, it's going to generate what's thing? It's going to generate another virtual DOM. So suppose this one I should add a text, which is suppose just now, what's the second? 150.49, okay. 1.50.49 p.m. okay. Okay, text, okay. This is previous one. That means this one is also 150.49 p.m. Then after 1 second, this one, the text is going to be 150.50, right? So it's going to generate a new virtual DOM, div, okay. Still same as this part, okay. Div, h1, all the things. Div, we are going to have what's thing? I'm going to do fast, okay. H1. And for H1, the clock, not text, still is what? Clock, same, okay? Then we're going to have input also. But for this input, we add what? We change the value to be what? To be after we did have a value to call the misxing, right? This is the attribute of this one, okay? That means here also have a value equals mising. I forgot to do this step, okay. This initial, should I add it here, not here? But anyway, fine, okay. Mising. I shouldn't do. It's fine. The initial don't have this one. Initial don't have this mising. But after 1 second, suppose we had to add a value. Let's reverse. Initial don't have this one. Let's know this one. Then here, here we are going to have a value equals what? Misxing. And immediately after we add the value mising, this div here will also have a value misxing, okay. Then here we are going to have, let's talk about after we already have value mising, okay. So here we are going to have a text which is 150.50 p.m. okay. Then here also have input. This input value equals what? Equals Tina. Immediately when we add this one, okay, when we add input value here, it will also cause this input will have a Tina. You know what I mean? And just here we'll have a 49, okay. So now we have everything. The virtual DOM here is generated new, and this one is the older one, okay. So it will do compare. Oh, that this one is same. If it's same, okay, then it will generate the new. If it's same, okay, I see here. This div and this div is the same, right? When it's same, it will reuse the real DOM, which is this one. See here, real DOM, okay, reuse. So this one is not being generated. You will see a div here. And it will compare H1 with H1 and same. Then I will reuse this what's thing H1. And then text. Oh, the clock text is same. I'm going to reuse this one called text. Okay. Then for this input value, okay. When I add a value here for React, okay, after we add a value misxing, the React when they check the node input, okay, it doesn't check the value. It only check the type. If it's the same input, it's going to reuse this one. So this input already have a value misxing, because it doesn't regenerate. It doesn't only compare for the type, doesn't compare the value. That's why after we type miss ing, and when we re-render, it doesn't remove those miss ing, because it will say, oh, the virtual DOM diffing, he will say, oh, your input and this input, they are the same input. Okay, because only the type. Okay, so we'll reuse this input have miss ing. So after 1 second, so then we'll compare this paragraph, oh, they're same. So I will reuse this paragraph. And then for this text, then here to compare. Oh, this text is 49, but this text now is what? 50. Oh, now your text is different. And because this real DOM, the text is 49, but now it's 50, I cannot reuse. So for this one, it's going to generate one more text node, which is for 50 p.m. And then it's going to compare what? This input with its input. Oh, they're the same. Even though you change the value to be Tina, okay, oh, it's the same because the value I don't compare. Then I will reuse this input, which have this input value is Tina here. So eventually you will see, even though I type input value miss ing, because then you reuse the original DOM, this one, and only change for this red one text. So you will see miss ing in the next second still there, and Tina in next second still there, because they are reused the old DOM. And this is the reason why React is more efficient compared with when we use real DOM API like the inner HTML. It will cause entire DOM tree. This entire DOM tree not reused. But for React, it will differentiate based on different virtual DOM, two versions of virtual DOM, and we'll compare. Oh, this real DOM can be reused. This can be reused. Only this red one I generate. So that's why it's more efficient. Okay, this is the first demo we are covering here, and we'll cover next one is the key elements. Okay, so let's have a demonstrating what is key elements. Okay, the key. Let me just go through. I was thinking write a demo, but you guys already should be familiar. When we do a array and when we do a map to render as a table or render as a list, if we don't add a key attribute, we will see an warning error inside the browser console, right? So that key attribute in virtual DOM is crucial for optimizing the render process in React. And how it works, why it's important. Identify elements. The key attribute uniquely identify elements in a list. This helps React differentiate between elements when the list changes, such as when item added, removed, or reordered. We'll talk about optimizing rendering. By using keys, React minimize the number of DOM manipulations it has to make. Instead of rendering the entire list, React can efficiently update only the elements that have been changed. This results in better performance and smoother user experience. Maintaining component state. Keys can also maintain a state or component in a list, especially for a list. Okay. For example, if a component in a list has eternal state like form inputs, using key ensures that the correct state is preserved when the list is changed. Really. Okay. So how it's going to happen? Let me write a demo. Then we come back to see see what happened. To see this slide, we will write a demo. Okay. A demo is we write a person. Okay, so we'll have another component. Oh my god, we'll have another component called a person. .tsx rfc. Okay, here you export, and my bad. And here we have what thing? Const. I don't like to call name person, because person the plural name is called it's called people. Okay, let me use user. Okay, then here I'm going to use user. Then here I can use users. Okay, users, set users. And here I will have what? Use state. State going to have let's create some initial user here. So the initial user, it's pretty simple. I will have an ID is 1, and have what's the have let's have a name. How about a name? Name is John Smith. Okay, just have 2. Okay, and have ID is 2. Name is Edward DOE. Okay, just the 2. And here for this one, I'm going to have what? I'm going to let's just have H2 user list, and here I'm going to have a map. Here users dot map. Map will have each of user. Okay, I'm going to have each u and index. Then I'm going to render as an li. Oh, I forgot to have a ul. Li. Okay, li going to display what? Li going to display what's the u dot id. Let's have another one, u dot name. Okay, and make sure here wrapped with ul. Okay, because in internal is li. Now I'm going to have a new feature, which is add a user. Here I'm going to have button add new user. Okay, if you want to be fancy, you can create an input. Here I will just have on click. Okay, on click I'm going to do what? On click I'm going to add you. Oh, my bad. Add user. Okay, so here I'm going to have a const add user equals like this way, set user. Okay, here I'm going to have the users, and then I'm going to do what? I'm going to have a new user. New user needed to have ID. ID here I'm going to use the length. Okay, dot length 2 plus 1. Okay, because I'm not going to do removal, so I just do like this. Name is called a new user. New user here. Let's do something. Can I do like this way? New user, users dot length plus 1. This one, what's the syntax for adding? Can I do like this way? I forgot the syntax, guys. Okay, I just need to call new user. Okay, originally I thought to give. Why this one doesn't work? I just do like this way. Okay, we just do like this way. So let's take a look at. I'm going to comment this clock. And I will add this user component. Okay, and let's go to browser, take a look at. Now I have 2, right? When I click add, you will see first the arrow. Okay, I forgot to see arrow. See here, each child should have a unique key. Now let me add a key. Here, let me add a key. First I will use index. Then let's see, no errors. And when I add, you will see, okay, everything seems okay, right? But now let me make a change. Okay, input. Okay, input. Okay, see here, I will have a John. Okay, I will have Edward. See, when I add the user, oh, no problem, right? This John is next to this John Smith. This Edward is next to Edward dog, okay? And seems no problem, okay? Now, let me do something, okay? For this new user, I will not add at the end. I will do is add at the front. So the only thing I change here is not add previously this new user is add at the end. Now I add at the front. Okay, so let's see the result. Take a look at here. John, Edward. Okay. Now if I add a new user, what's happened? See here, this John is not next to this John Smith. This Edward is not next to the Edward. Instead, this John is on new user. See here. That's a problem because it's not the intention we are doing, right? This John should be next to this John. This Edward should be next to the Edward. What happened here? That's a problem of wisely to select a key, which is wisely to select this key. And the problem is because of this index. Now let me show you the scenario, okay? First, our goal is slow. We'll take a look at when we have a user. Okay. Which is add at the front. As we know, if we add at the end. As we know, if we add at the end of the list, and when we it doesn't have any problem. See here, no problem at all. Okay, what it is. So here we are going to copy this part and put it here. Okay, let me make another one. Okay, new page. And I'm going to copy paste here. And it's a little bit small. Let's make it larger a little bit. Okay. Do like this way. Okay, it's a div. Okay, and now we will first we will draw when we will draw like this way. Okay, we will draw start not from initial rendering. I'm going to draw which is already have a John Smith here. Okay, already have this one. Then I click add a new user. What happened? Okay, so here let's oh sorry, my bad. Here on the virtual DOM, on the left side, we are going to have a div. A div which going to have an H2. H2 gonna have a text node which is a user list. Okay, then we are going to have a UL. How many in the initial rendering? How many in the initial rendering? As you can see, only have 2, right? 2 is what? We are going to have one LI. One LI. The first LI in the key is what? Key is index. Key is equal 0, right? Key is 0. Okay, key is 0. And in the LI, we'll have 2 things. The first one is a text node, which is the ID and the name. You got me? ID and this name. Then we have input. This input have value is what's thing? John. Let's see here. This input have value John, okay? And lowercase. This is the first LI. We will have a second LI. Second LI still have what's thing? The text node. And also have another node is input. Input which has a value is Edward. Okay. And here also have ID, which is Edward, and ID is 2, right? This one is ID is 1, is John, okay? John Smith, okay? And this key is what? This key is 1, okay? Because index start with 0 or 1. So every virtual DOM is going to have a real DOM. This real DOM. I forgot. Sorry. Below the div, I also have a button. Okay, here also have a button. Button also have a text, which is add a new user. Here I don't draw it, okay? Here I don't write it here. So that's it. Real DOM, we also have a div. Oh, it's a heavy, okay? And here we have H2. Okay, and I have a text node, same as this one called the user list, okay? And we'll have what's thing? We'll have a UL. UL, we'll have first LI, okay? LI, this one key is 0, okay? Key is 0, okay? For match to key is 0, okay? And we'll have a text. Text is 1 John Smith, okay? And we'll have an input. The value is also equals to John, okay? And we'll have another LI. Key is what? Key is 1, okay? Then we'll have another text, which is 2 Edward, okay? And which will have another input, which is value is Edward, okay? And we'll have next one is button. Okay, this is represent the current virtual DOM, represent the current page. Now I'm going to do is what? When I do an add a new user, okay? Click add a new user, what happened? Based on our slide, when I add a new user, which is subsequent update, you will do the diffing algorithm, like first generate a new virtual DOM, then compare. Let's generate and compare, okay? So wait me for a second. Here. Now it's after we click the button, it's going to generate a new virtual DOM. Div. New virtual DOM will have H2 and user list. Okay, user list, and here the UL still we have, and which have 3. Okay, because after we click a new, right? Click a new, it's going to have a new user in the users. So here gonna be rendered as 3 times. Okay, so we are going to have the first one. First one, which is LI. Key is what? Key is 0, right? Key is 0 is going to have what? It's going to have a text. Text is 1 and what's the John Smith, okay? And which will have input. Value is what? Value is John, okay? Then we will have LI. Key is what thing? Key is 1. 1 will have a text, okay? Text is 2 Edward, and we'll have input. Input value is what? Value is Edward, okay? And we also have last LI. Key is what? Key is 2, okay? Key 2 gonna have a text. Text will have 3 and a new user, okay? And this input, the value is empty. The value is empty. See here, the value is empty. Take a look at here. Value is empty, okay? Why is empty? Take a look at when we render, when we code. When we render, the last one is empty, okay? By default. So now, well, after we generate 2 subsequent what's thing, let me make it smaller, okay? Zoom. Now we have a virtual DOM, new and old virtual DOM. Now we compare. Oh, this div. Oh, I forgot a button. Sorry, my bad. Forgot a button. We step back. Okay, text. Okay, finished. Now we will compare. Oh, this div, yeah, Sam. If a Sam, we can do what? We can reuse this real DOM. So here, this is reused. Now we'll compare this one, H2. H2 is Sam. Let's compare the text node. Oh, there's Sam. Then we can reuse the real DOM. So this one is being reused. I just make a copy, okay? HP reused user list. Okay, now we will compare. Oh, UL, yeah, it's Sam. We have a real DOM UL. Let's reuse it because it didn't change. Okay, UL. Now let's take a look at. Oh, here this one list key is 0. Okay. Oh, now I have list key is 0. It's Sam, right? So we reuse this list key is 0. Li key 0. Okay, and let's compare the child. Oh, this text is John Smith, and this input value is John. Oh, this text is John Smith. Input value John. Oh, it's the same. The virtual DOM. Let's reuse everything for a child under the key 0. So here, this part is being reused. Unfortunately, I have to draw it. Okay. So here I will have a text John, and have input value. Yes, John. Okay, lowercase. Now let's go to the virtual DOM. This key is 1. Key is 1. Key is 1. Oh, I have key is 1. So let's reuse key is 1. Here, li key is 1 being reused. Let's compare the child. Text Edward to Edward, or text to Edward, or input Edward. Because I only compare with the we only compare with the type. Oh, input Sam. Okay, so we're gonna reuse also this part for the for the real DOM. So here we will have a text. Text which text, I just write it. Okay, text node which have to Edward. Okay, reuse, and have input. The value is also being Edward. Okay, Edward. Now let's compare. Oh, in this I don't have key 3 here. Oh, I have key 2 here. In my previous virtual DOM, I don't have. That means in my real DOM, I don't have. If I don't have, what's going to happen? If you don't have, create a new one. So here for this key 2, okay, that's a new one, okay, because here in old virtual DOM don't have. This is a new one. New one, create a new one. So here it's going to create, because old DOM definitely don't have. It's going to create an li with key is what? 2. And we'll have a text. No, text node will have 3 new user, okay? And we'll have an empty input. Why it's empty? Because here when we render, here is empty, okay? So this red one is a new created. Now in my old virtual DOM, there's no more, and in the new virtual DOM, under URL, everything is done. Now we go back to compare button. Button is same. Text is all same. Let's reuse what? Let's reuse this button. So here we are going to forgot this one have a text node. Okay, here we have a button text. Okay, and that's the reason. Under when we add in this case, when we add a new user, these are a pair, not a change. Okay, because based on our diagram, when we search based on the key, the text is same, and input we don't compare value is same. So that's why here key 0 is reuse the old one, so they are match. Only generate one more for the new key. This one is generated a new one, real DOM. Okay, so only one. Now, I hope you understand for now. Now let's take a look at what? Let's take a look at if I switch order, which means my order is being switched. I'm not add to the end. Instead, I'm adding to the front of the new user. Now the behavior is what? Behavior, I type a John Smith. Then I type new user. Click here. That's a problem, right? Okay, let's do why the behavior is like this way. Why? Okay, we will start from scratch, which is this case. Okay, for this case, we are going to draw exactly the same thing. This part I don't draw. I'm going to make a copy of a previous one. Okay. Let me see if I can make a copy. Select. Okay. How can I make a copy? This part. Okay. I'll make a copy to here. Okay, this is the older one. Okay, so here, let me erase some of them. Because the background color I use red. let me remove the background color. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so here. Okay, so now let's let me first make sure everything works. This one is a div. This one is h2, which is user list. Okay, li key is 0, li key is 1. Here we'll have a text node which has a 1 text node. Let me. This one is a text node. Which is a 1 John Smith, right? This one is an input, and the value is a John, and this is a text, and which is a 2 Edward. Okay, key is 1, key is 1, yeah, this one key is 0. Okay, then real DOM, this part is a real DOM. Okay, and which has a user list, and here is also text node Edward. Okay, ID is value is Edward. Okay, so now which is match my current state. Okay, current state John. Now when I click 1, why does this one happen, right? So let's see. So now wait me for a second. Now when I create a new generated DOM, this one, I click the button, okay, which will cause a new DOM. Here I'm going to have a div, and this one no change, which h2, and this one is user list. Okay, and here we'll also have a UL. And now is the time we render about UL. Take a look at our code. So after I click add button, the ID user3 is the first one. Okay, and this key is what? The key is based on index 0, 1, 2, 3. So the first one is this one. When I loop, right? First one is this new user. So the first one with the key 0 is this new user. So here, the first one, li, key is what? Key is 0. Key is 0, the text is what? Text. Text is what? Text is 3 and a new user. Okay, and here we do have an input. But this input, what's the value? This input by default is what? This input by default is what? Here, empty. Okay, empty. So here, let me generate. Okay, go. Empty. Okay. Here, empty. Empty. Value is empty. Okay. Then I'm going to here, which li key is what? Key is 1. Key is 1. Going to have a text. Text is what? Text is 1 John Smith. Okay, and we have input. You can also make this one input value. I should say value is also empty. Sorry, my bad. Okay, this one value is also empty. Not John. Okay, because this one is value is also empty. My bad. Okay, this one value is empty because the real DOM will keep. This one is empty because this one I made a mistake. Sorry, guys. This one value is also because when we render, this one is always empty. Okay, empty. This one empty. Sorry. Okay, so empty, but the real DOM will keep. The real DOM keep a value is John because we reuse it. Okay. Wait a minute for a second. So empty, and then that one doesn't matter that much. Okay, so then we're gonna have a key. Li. We're gonna have li. Key is what? Key is 2, and here we'll have a text. Text, and gonna have a 2 Edward. Okay. For this Edward, I'm going to have what? I'm going to also have input. Value is what? Value is empty. Okay. So now this is generate the real virtual DOM. We'll have to do a diffing. Okay, because after we see is a new generated virtual DOM is going to be compared with the real, right? This one real. Okay, this one. So in this case, we are going to do a diffing. How to do diffing? Compare. This div is the same. So I'm going to reuse the real DOM. Reuse the real DOM. I just go here. This real DOM div is being reused. Now compare. This H2, this U list the same. H2 U list the same. I'm going to reuse these two. Okay, reuse H2 and user list. Okay, then I'm going to do what? Then I'm going to compare this li key is 0. I do have li key is 0. Okay, then let's reuse this one. Li key is 0. So I forgot a ul. My bad. I forgot ul is same. Okay, see here. Ul is same. Ul is same. Okay, so I'm going to reuse the ul. Then I'm going to li, let's do one more time. Li key 0. I do have a li key 0. So let's reuse this li key 0. Let's have a li key is 0, right? Now let's take a look at. Under li key 0, the text is 1 and John. But well, here text is what? 3 and a new user. Is it the same? Different. If different, what will happen? Generate a new one. So here it's going to have a new text, right? New text. The value is what? 3 new user. Okay, the value. This is the value. This should be here. Okay, text node here. 3 new user. Now let's do another one. Okay. Here have input. Here have input. As we know, for input, it doesn't compare the value. It only compare the type. So input is the same. Let's reuse. What happened? Here, for this input, the value is what? John. Value is John. Okay? And then we do compare. Key is 1. We do have key is 1. Let's reuse this key is 1. Okay? So here, we're going to have another li key is 1. Now let's compare. This text, are they the same? No, they're different. This is a 2 Edward. This is 1 John Smith. So we cannot reuse this one. Instead, we have to do what? We have generate a new text node, which is 1 John Smith, which match this one. Okay, 1 John Smith. And now let's compare the input. Input, only the type. They are the same. So I reuse. So I will reuse this input. Reuse input. But this input going to have what? This input is going to have value equals Edward. Right? So this is 1. Now let's continue compare. This one, I don't have no more li, but here I have a key 2. So now here I don't have li key 2. But in a new virtual DOM I have, and in a real DOM definitely don't have. So I'm going to generate one for key 2. So here we are going to also have li key is 2 generated. Okay, then we're going to have a text. Text is what? 2 Edward. Edward DOE dot. Okay, and have what thing? Input. Input value is what? Value is empty. See here. So that course what? Doesn't match. See here. Now my input, now my li key 0, it will match text 3 new user, and the value for input is John. See that they match our. See here. New user value is John. And for what thing? For this li1, the text is 1 John Smith, input is Edward. See here. 1 John Smith, Edward. And for the key, it's here. For the key 2, everything is brand new. Text 2 Edward. Input is value empty. That's why on my browser to Edward, the value is empty. Okay, so that's the problem. That's why it causes mismatch when we add the thing in front of the array. And that's why we cause the reason is because this key is using index. Okay, I hope you understand after I draw this one. Okay, because he is index is same. We'll reuse this one, which text is different. So I generate 1, generate 3. You can also compare. The previous one is more efficient because in previous one I only have one new, right, being generated. All other DOM is being reused. But see here instead of this last one, for every text I generate new one. Compare here, I only have 3 elements. If we have 100, you will have more. You will have lots of new real DOM need to be generated. Okay, so in this case, the key use index is not a good choice if you add or remove from front, because you're going to have 2 problems. One is mismatch, like this way. Another one is what? Another one is not efficient. You see here, this is all new generated real DOM. Okay, when we generate real DOM, it takes time. It's not that efficient. Okay, let's go back to the slide. Here, how does the key element diffing algorithm working? When the data in a state change, React generate a new virtual DOM based on update data. Following, compare the new virtual DOM with old virtual DOM using a diffing process. The same key as a new virtual DOM was found in the old virtual DOM. Like here, we have key 0, key 1 is already in the old virtual DOM, right? If the content of JSON hasn't changed, the previous real DOM is being used redirectly. Like take a look at here. This input, previous versions here, this text, this input are being reused. Okay, but let's take a look at this one. If the content in the virtual DOM is pinned, a new real DOM is generated and then replace the previous real DOM on the page. See here. If it's text is different, see here, text different, we have to change. Okay. And if the same key as a new virtual DOM was not found in the old virtual DOM, like this example, here I don't have key 2. Here I have key 2 in the new generated. Then what's going to happen? The create a new real DOM based on data, then render on the page. Okay. So we also talk about the problem of the using index as a key. You will see 2 issues. The first one is mismatch. See here. Refresh. Okay, here I have John Smith. We'll have mismatch. This is from the users look and feel. We already here that have a mismatch from the efficient level. For every text node, in this case, it's going to be regenerated. The old DOM cannot be reused. Okay, so 2 problems. So now next slide is what? How to choose a good key. This one still explain about the demo. If operation on the data such as reverse addition, reverse deletion, or any action disrupting the order are performed, unnecessary updates to real DOM may occur. Which means if we use index as a key, okay, index. Suppose I manipulate the users this array from the front or from the middle, like a reverse adding, reverse removing, you're gonna have a problem. Okay, like I said, the user interface may remain unaffected, but the code low efficiency. Okay, the structure of JSX also include the DOM like input fields that may lead incorrect DOM updates, causing issues in the user interface, like the demo we explained. There's no problem like a reverse addition to a data. There's no problem using index. If there's no operation like a reverse addition or reverse deletion on the data, there's no problem using index as a key. Okay, here index. So how to select the key? The best one is using what? Unique identifier for each piece as a primary key, like a student ID, social security number. To solve the problem, we can do what? Solve a problem, not using index. Instead, I'm going to use u.id. Suppose our u.id is is the primary key. We can do is not using 1, 2, 3, 4. We can use some unique. I will say ID 101. Okay. I will say ID 102. Then here I'm going to use ID plus like this way. Okay, I'll do like this way. So ID plus the length is going to be 103. So it makes sure. And here I'm using ID. So on the page, it's rendering gonna be look like this way. And when I use John, Edward, DWLD, and add a new user, no problem at all. Even though no matter I add in the front or add in the end. See here, now I'm adding into the end, right? See here, no problem. See here, add one more, add one more. It doesn't cause a problem. So if I switch the order, okay, I switch the order like John Smith, also no problem. No matter I add in the front or add into the end, all of them don't have the issue when here key is using index. So here I will just explain when I add to the end, okay? Because if I use index when I add in the front, it have problem, okay? So I move this destruction assignment to the end. So here we are add into the front. Previously, when we use index has a problem. Now don't have problem because here I changed the key is using the ID, okay? So now let's see why doesn't it have problem. We will draw from scratch. Let me draw using another. I should reuse, but I will draw from scratch. So here, key is using ID now. Okay, guys, key is using ID. I'm going to start from here. First, draw this one, John Smith. Okay. Here, wait a minute for a second. From here, okay. John Smith, which is draw this one, John Smith. Alright. Then next step is click add a new user. Okay. So the key is UID. So here, as usual, we are going to have a div. Under div, we're going to have H2. H2 gonna have a text node, which is user list, right? User list text node, and here we'll have a UL. We'll have two. One is LI. The key is what? Key is I changed the to be not using 1, 2, 3. I using ID 10001. Okay. Let me add 1000. Okay, to match the pattern. Okay. 1 ID 1001. Okay. Then here we are going to have two text based on our here 101 have a ID and John Smith. We have a text node. The first text node will be 10001 and John Smith, right? And also have an input. This one input value is what? This one value is a John Smith. John. I just type a John there. And then we'll have another LI. LI, the key is what? Key is ID 1002, right? Then here we also have one more text. Text is ID 1002 and have Edward DOE. And here we also have an input. The value is Smith. Okay. Then here we also have a button. What's the text? The text add a new user. Here is add a new user. Okay, you write the remaining. This is our virtual DOM. Now on the real DOM is the same. Not the same. Okay, not the same. But the structure, the tree structure is same. Okay, so this real DOM also have a div. Also have H2. The text is user list. Okay, and also we'll have a UL. UL will have a first LI. The key is it doesn't have key. I shouldn't write a key, but I write a key here is to make sure it's clear. Okay, it actually don't have a key because inside DOM don't ID 10, but it can have customized, you know, the attribute. Okay. Here we'll have ID 101 and John Smith, and we'll have input value is John. Okay. And here we'll have li, key is what? Key is ID 102, and here we'll have ID 102, which is Edward DOE, and have input value is Edward. Okay, and last one is a button, which is add new user, add a new user. Okay, so this is the first step, which is represent current page. Okay, now we are going to click add a new user. When I click this button, what happened? What happened? Not this one. What happened is here it's going to generate a new virtual DOM. So here it's going to generate a new virtual DOM. Also have a div. Okay, generated based on what? Based on source code. Based on this one. Okay, when I click re-render, where the ID is added, the user at the front, we will re-render this part. Okay, re-render part will have ID div will have h2 will call user list, and here we'll have ul will have 3. One is li. The li key, the first one is what? See here, when we render, the first one ID is ID 1003, right? 1003. So the key is what? The key is ID 103. Okay, the first one. See here, this user when added in the front, the key is what? ID is same as this ID, which is gonna be 103. So the first one here, the key is what? ID 1003. Okay, then here we're going to have a text. Text is what? ID 1003, which has a new user. Okay, then here I have input value is empty. Okay, value is empty. Then I'm going to have a second one. Let me remove this one a little bit. Okay, then we are going to have second one. Second one is what? Second one will have ID key. Key is what? Key is, take a look at second one. Second one is going to be what? This one, ID 101, because see here, spread gonna be this one, ID 101. So second one here going to have ID 1001, and 101 gonna have what? It's going to be ID 1001, which is John Smith, and have input, which value is empty because we're rendering, right? Then here we'll have li. Second one is what? Last one is ID 1002. See our code. Okay, see here. Last one, ID 1002. Then it's going to be have the value is what? Value is text node 102 Edward DOE. Okay, then here we'll have input. Okay, this is new virtual DOM. Now we are going to generate the real DOM, right? We are to compare. Oh, this div is the same old and new virtual DOM. Okay. Oh, let's reuse the real DOM. So here, real DOM reuse using black, which is div. Now we'll compare. Oh, H2 user list. H2 user list is same, right? I just do jumps. It should be H2 first. Okay, then user list. Then we reuse it on the real DOM. So here, H2 user list is being reused. Okay. Now we compare. Oh, UL and this UI is same. Let's reuse the real DOM UL. So here we are going to have UL. Okay. Now let's compare. The first one is what? ID 101. The first one is what? ID ID key, ID 103. Do I have ID 103 in the old virtual DOM? No. If no, let's generate a new one. So here, ID, because this first compare this one, right? Don't have generated one. So here we are going to generate, which is LI, which is ID. This one ID is key is what? 1003. And the text node also new, which is one ID 103, which is a new user, right? And have input. Input what? Input value is empty. See here, value is empty. So here value is empty. Value is empty, okay. And then let's compare. Oh, here ID key 101. Oh, I do have ID key 101, okay. Let's reuse it. So here we have another one, LI, this one, okay. ID is 101 ID, okay. ID 101. Oh, now let's compare. ID 101, compare. Oh, this text node 101. Oh, this text node 101. Same, right? If a same, reuse it. See here, reuse this one. So here it's being reused. ID 101, which is John Smith. And then, oh, here have input, John. Oh, here I have input, right? We only compare what? We only compare type is same. Let's reuse this one, okay? Reuse, here we have input. Value is John. John, right? Now we will compare last LI. Oh, key ID is 102. Oh, I have 112. Oh, let's reuse it. This one, okay? So here I'm going to have ID. Key is ID 1002 being reused. Now let's. You guys already know, right? Let's compare the text. Compare text here. Oh, Edward door. Oh, here Edward door. Same, right? So reuse this one. Okay, so reuse this one. We're gonna have ID 102 Edward DOE, right? And also here input. This is input. This is input. Don't care about the value, so they're the same. Let's reuse it. So reuse this one. We are going to have a input. It's too far. Here we have what's the input, which value is what? Value is Edward. Okay, so now we finished. And for the new real DOM, we've had just add one, which we only add one. Only add which one? Only add this ID 3. And the value is empty string. That match to our diagram. See here. ID, this one is being added here. The new user here is what? Here is empty, right? And John Smith, they are matched. Why? Because now we are using key, not using index. Okay, the key match each other. And this one is more efficient because you only have, no matter we add in the front or add in the end, you only generate a new one. And all of the old real DOM node is being reused. But if we use index in previous case, okay, if we, like this case, we not only generate a new one, and for some of the old, like this one, the old node in the real DOM cannot be reused. That's why we have to choose the key wisely. Index is not always the good choice. Index value for the key is not always good choice. We usually choose something like unique, like a slideshow. We choose like primary key, phone number, student ID, social security number. Usually probably the primary key, okay? Make sure unique, okay? If you are certain you are only displaying data, using index is also acceptable to avoid that warning in the browser console. So I think that's it for this video. We covered about how to the virtual DOM diffing, how to wisely choose the key. Why it's not a good reason to use the key, use index as a key. It's better to use what? It's better to use unique ID. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time. Bye bye.